My name is Martijn De Waal. I'm a professor from the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. We have a research group there called Civic Interaction Design, and one of the themes that we're studying is the design of public space in our digitized network society. And this week I'm in Bologna. I'm in the Museum of Public Space doing a residency invited by City Space Architecture.
Thank you, Martijn, for being with us in Bologna. It's a great pleasure to host you at the Public Space Museum, Museo Spazio Pubblico. I'm interested to know more about your work on urban resilience. I know that you are leading now a research group related to designing public spaces in times of pandemics. So what are the outcomes? Because I know the project is almost finished, completed. So tell us more.
Yeah, one of the things we're doing at our research group in Amsterdam is a project which is called From Prevention to Resilience, public space after COVID-19. And in this project that we're doing together with the Spatial Transformation Research Group from Professor Frank Surenbroek and with a number of researchers, we are exploring how we can design public spaces from a perspective of resilience. Because what we found when the COVID crisis hit us about 2 years ago was that a lot of the measures that were taken in the first place were very much focused on prevention, like the prevention of the spread of the disease, resulting in measures for social distancing, setting up all kinds of barricades, fences, preventing us actually from using public space in the ways that we used to do. And I think that was very logical because, of course, the prevention was, or the pandemic was a big problem and we needed to prevent it. But we were thinking that maybe we could go beyond just these measures of prevention, and we could also use the pandemic as an opportunity to think of, okay, if we are going to do interventions in public space, then how can we do them in a way that we are not just preventing the disease from spreading, but that we're also contributing to resilience in local neighborhoods. So what we did in the project was a number of different things. First, we started to collect examples from around the world, how various designers and cities reacted to the COVID crisis, to see what we could learn from that, and trying to turn those individual examples into, we call that intermediate knowledge strategies that you could use to react to crises such as the COVID pandemic. We also invited a number of design studios, like The Beach, which is a social design office in Amsterdam, and UN Studio, which is a large architectural office, to embark with us on a research through design trajectory. So we asked them to actually study 2 particular neighborhoods in Amsterdam and come up with plans of how, in the light of the COVID pandemic, we could make those neighborhoods more resilient. And third, and I think that's maybe the most exciting part of the research, is that we try to come up with a framework for the design of resilient neighborhoods. Now, what do we mean when we say a framework for the design of resilient neighborhoods? And I think resilience is a bit of a broad term. It's been used a lot. And I think it's always important to ask resilience of what, for whom, to what. Because resilience in itself doesn't necessarily mean anything more than that something, a particular system is able to bounce back from a stress from the outside. So we were looking at the resilience of neighborhoods, and we wanted to make them resilient both socially and ecologically. And we think that this pandemic was an interesting opportunity to combine those different types of resilience and start also thinking of how you could combine them in the design of interventions in local neighborhoods.
Can you tell us also how you engaged partners during the pandemic?
Yeah, for the research project, I think we had to be a bit resilient ourselves because, of course, we couldn't do research in our traditional ways, which would be organizing meetings, get-togethers, go out, because of measures of social distancing. So we tried to come up with another way to use online media to get together in virtual workshops using tools like Zoom and Microsoft Teams and Miro. And one of the things we did was we would collect all of our examples of existing reactions to the COVID crisis around the world, and we placed them in a Miro board. And we asked the participants who gathered from across the world, because we also have partners from, well, here in Italy, but also in Australia and in the US. We invited them to go into the Miro board, have a look at you could say almost a virtual exposition of examples, and comment on what they saw there on various kinds of sticky notes. And then we used all those comments and the discussions to cluster and come up with a number of strategies that we induced from all these individual examples.
Since the project is almost completed, how do you think researchers or policymakers or professionals would be able to use the outcomes? And is this your target audience, or you're thinking to something different?
Yeah, I think the project has two main target audiences. The first obviously is designers themselves, spatial designers, social designers, architects. We will provide them with a database of inspirational examples and a number of strategies, but also a more higher level framework to think about resilience in relation to the design of local spaces in neighborhoods, public spaces in neighborhoods. But we're also specifically targeting policymakers and clients, so let's say the owners or the curators of public space, whether they are local governments or housing associations, because we think or we hope that our framework will also help them to frame the questions that they put to designers in a new way. We also want to invite them to think of the briefs to the professionals that they work with, to in that brief already think about, can we combine actually social resilience and ecological resilience, and how could we do that? And of course, if people are curious of learning more about our projects from prevention to resilience, we will launch a website in the summer of 2022, and the website will host our database of examples, reports from the case studies that we did in Amsterdam, and also the framework as well can be downloaded there. Also, we will feature a number of webinars, some of which are organized together with City Space Architecture, and they will be viewable on our website, coming to you soon.